I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Taehyung caught on camera at Jin's concert, a rare moment that made ARMY cry. It wasn't just a concert, it was a reunion of hearts long separated by time and fate. In the world of K-pop, every little moment can turn into a big memory. But what happened in Goyang that night wasn't just a moment. It was an emotional history that shook the hearts of millions of ARMYs around the world. Jin's concert, his first live solo performance after completing mandatory military service, had been eagerly anticipated by fans. Thousands of ARMY filled the arena, creating a sea of purple that flowed warmly, filled with love and pride. But none of them expected that night would hold a surprise that sent chills down their spines. When a camera from one of the audience members zoomed in on the VIP section, a figure appeared who had only been longed for from afar, Kim Taehyung. Wearing a black hoodie, a hat covering part of his face, and a simple medical mask, Taehyung tried to blend into the crowd. He didn't come as a star. He came as a friend, as a brother, as someone who quietly wanted to offer his greatest support from behind the crowd, away from the spotlight. But unfortunately, or fortunately for ARMY, the camera couldn't hide the love. A viral video clip on social media shows the moment Taehyung stood quietly, gazing at the stage with teary eyes. His hands clutched an ARMY bomb, and occasionally he was seen covering his face, whether out of overwhelming emotion or trying to hide the tears falling. What made it even more emotional was when Jin sang the song The Astronaut, a song he co-wrote with Coldplay before enlisting in the military. In the final verses of the song, many ARMYs believed Jin was looking toward where Taehyung was standing, as if he knew his brother had come secretly for him. On X, Twitter, the hashtags #Taehyung@JinConcert, #OT7Feels, and #VSupportJin trended within less than an hour. Thousands of comments poured in. "My tears won't stop. Taehyung came secretly for Jin. This is true brotherhood. Crazy. This is more touching than the ending of a Korean drama. Thank you, Taehyung, for being there for Jin. I hope they reunite as OT7 soon. I miss seeing them all together again." It wasn't just the fans who were moved. Some music reporters present at the venue said this was one of the most sincere moments they'd ever witnessed in K-pop history. No gimmicks, no announcements, just a quiet presence that made thousands of people cry. And yes, this is the power of BTS. Even in silence and without words, they can convey endless love. Sometimes, a silent presence speaks louder than the screams of thousands of people. That night, amidst the sea of purple glowing like a living galaxy, Taehyung's presence seemed to add another layer of meaning to Jin's concert. It wasn't just about a BTS member supporting his brother. It was about a symbol, about an unseen connection that remains intact, even when the world thinks they've gone their separate ways. As Jin stood on stage, looking at the audience with a proud smile, many believed there was a hidden message behind every line he sang, especially when he mentioned someone who always remains a home, even when the world becomes foreign. Those words hit the hearts of ARMYs hard because few knew that the home he spoke of was standing in the crowd that night, singing the same lyrics while holding back tears. According to an unnamed concert staff member, Taehyung arrived without official HYB security. He requested not to be announced and refused to sit in the front VIP area. He simply wanted to be an audience member. He wanted to feel the atmosphere of love from the ARMY toward Jin up close. He said, "I want to see Hyung shine with my own eyes." It wasn't the first time Taehyung showed his rarely seen soft side, but that night, the whole world could feel it. Fan-captured videos and photos showed that even Taehyung sang along to some of Jin's songs. One moment showed him wiping his eyes, and from that moment on, the internet was never the same again. Korean music observers began to interpret this moment as a subtle signal from BTS that their bond remained strong, even amid solo projects and military service. A pop culture columnist wrote, "Taehyung's presence was not just personal support. It was a public message that BTS is not 7 separate individuals. They are one body whose souls are connected, even when they are in different places." Meanwhile, Many ARMYs were crying not only because Taehyung was present, but because they felt embraced again by memories of BTS always being together on stage. Some admitted that they felt like they were finally seeing glimpses of the past they longed for. One fan wrote, "In this rapidly changing world, seeing Taehyung there for Jin, it feels like finding a glimmer of eternity." Big questions began to surface. Is this a sign that a BTS reunion is getting closer? Are they secretly preparing something? Is this part of the journey toward their big comeback after all members complete their military service? HYB has not issued an official statement, but many believe that Jin's concert could be an emotional warm-up before something much bigger arrives. As the stage lights began to dim and the concert neared its end, Jin stood alone on the vast stage. He bowed briefly, then bowed deeply to the thousands of ARMYs filling the arena. Many noticed that Jin's eyes were slightly red, not from fatigue, but from something deeper, something that touched his heart. And whether it was mere coincidence or an inexplicable moment beyond logic, in the final seconds as Jin said, "Thank you for waiting. I've never been alone because you've stayed here." Many fans claimed to see him glance quickly toward the stands, directly at the spot where Taehyung had previously stood. That glance was not just an ordinary look. There was a kind of acknowledgement there, an indirect connection that could only be understood by those who had known each other for over a decade. After the concert ended and the atmosphere gradually calmed down, some staff members noted that Jin seemed quieter than usual. He sat briefly in the dressing room, gazing at a bouquet of flowers given by a fan, then smiled faintly. One crew member backstage uttered a simple yet poignant statement. He said tonight was perfect, not because of the stage, but because someone came without being asked. For ARMY who have followed BTS since the beginning, Taehyung's presence at Jin's concert felt like a sudden time travel back to the 2015 to 2018 era, when the 7 members openly supported each other, shouted at each other backstage, or cried together after their first overseas concert. Those moments, though long past, now feel alive again simply because of one quiet arrival. An ARMY from the Philippines who came directly to Goyang even wrote a lengthy thread on Twitter. "I saw Taehyung in person, not on a screen but in real life. He stood there like an ordinary fan. When Jin sang the final part of Moon, I saw Taehyung bow deeply, and since then I couldn't stop crying. It wasn't just a concert, it was a time bridge." BTS never truly left. Not only ARMY, but various international media began covering this moment as one of the biggest highlights in the K-pop world of 2025. The Korea Herald wrote, "Taehyung's presence at Jin's concert was not just a personal gesture of support. It was a symbol that BTS's strength remains bound in a place beyond the reach of cameras and scripts." Rolling Stone Asia even highlighted the theme in its weekly editorial. While the world forces K-pop idols to shine alone, BTS continues to prove that their greatest strength lies in unity. Quietly, one by one, they are reconnecting without announcing a reunion. That night left many unanswered questions. Was this moment planned? Is this the beginning of something bigger? Will the other members, RM, Jimin, Jungkook, Suga, J-Hope, follow suit soon? Many ARMYs began theorizing that after Jin's concert, the next step would be preparations for a secret project. Some even believed there would be a special reunion, not for album promotion, but as a symbol of their return to togetherness after their military service ended. As the night sky over Goyang grew quiet, the streets emptied, and ARMYs began to head home, many still glanced toward the stands where Taehyung had stood, as if hoping to see him one last time. They knew BTS would return, maybe not tomorrow or next week, but they knew moments like this were small signs that the universe was orchestrating a grand reunion that would soon take place. And that night, one sentence whispered from the heart of every ARMY to the sky. "Thank you, Taehyung, for coming as a friend, not as a star. Because of that, you shine brighter than anyone else."